Hi, hello everyone. My name is Eleftheria, and today I'm here with Colin, and we will talk about his project GitLight. Colin, would you like to introduce yourself and share a little bit about your background?
Yes, hello everybody. So I'm Colin. I'm a front-end engineer. I work for a French ad tech called Mob Success. I worked there for a bit over a year now, and it's my first job. I mostly do React and TypeScript, and in my free time I like to try new technologies, learn stuff about development, and yeah, I built a tool called GitLight that we will discuss about.
How did you initially get started with Tauri? What did attract you to Tauri?
I wanted to create a desktop app with a web view, and I obviously knew about Electron, so I looked it up. I never used it before. Actually, I never used it anyway. And when I choose a technology, I like to check out alternatives. So this is where I encountered Tauri, and I thought that it was interesting because of all the performances improvements compared to Electron. Like I believe it was 4 times less RAM consuming, so pretty good because it's one of the complaints that Electron receives.
Yeah.
Also, the bundle size is way smaller. And because when I do side projects, I like to learn stuff. I was like, okay, it's written. I need to do a bit of Rust, and I don't know Rust at all. I was like, okay, let's just try it and try to make it work.
Yeah, and I think in the end you build a really cool project, which we are going to talk about this now. So you're the creator of GitLight. Would you like to share a little bit about this journey and maybe show us the project?
Yes. So let me share my screen. GitLight is basically a desktop app that allows you to manage and get push notifications from GitHub. So it's a kind of a replacement from the GitHub page of notifications. So this is the interface. It's kind of like a Kanban view, where you have the unread column, which is where the new notifications will appear. For example, like that. And there is a pinned column, which is the notification that you can put there so they can stay here if you find them important. And if you mark them as read, it will actually mark them as read also in the GitHub interface, like in the notification page also. And so this is like considered as a notification with the subject. For example, this is a discussion. I can click on the link and it will bring the GitHub page about the discussion. There is the repository and the action that created the notification. So for example, someone commented this emoji, and there is also the priority, which I will talk about it later. So as you noticed, you can drag the items in the different columns. You can also use the little actions like that. And you can also mark a notification as done, and that will just remove them from the interface. On the side, you get filters. So for types of notifications, for the repositories, you can mute repositories, hide them, stuff like that. And also the person. So it's either the person that created the notification or the creator of the subject. So for example, the discussion here. And so there is also the GitLab part, which is basically the same. So you can authenticate to GitHub or GitLab or both at the same time. So like that, I can show a notification from GitHub and GitLab. So those are just test notifications because I don't use GitLab on a daily basis. And So there are also some settings. You can change the layout. So this is the list view, which is a bit simpler. And the vertical Kanban, you can also drag and drop. Up, there is also a light mode for those who like it, and some settings, basic stuff. So for GitHub, there is the fine-grained personal access tokens, so you can get notifications from private repositories, for example, organizations. So I use it for my work actually. For GitLab settings, it's a bit different because you need to input yourself the repositories that you want to get notifications from. Because for GitLab, there is no API for notifications. That was a bit of a pain to implement, but I got it working. And next, I can show also priorities. So this is, you can create criteria and assign points to criteria so that you can order the notifications as you like, and you can so those are the default one. But if I don't care to notification when I mention, I can remove it. And I can, for example, add that if notification has the label feature, for example, I want to get a value, I can save. And for example, here, the notifications that has a feature label comes on top. So I think that's a pretty useful feature. And yes, that's basically it. Oh no, I forgot. There is also the oh shoot, like that. Okay, it's the tray window. So it's just a simpler view, but in the tray bar, I believe it's called. Really nice, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And is this for Windows as well?
Yes, it works on Windows. The tray part works on Windows. I tested it. I didn't test it on Linux, but I believe it should work.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a full project. It has a lot of features. Are you currently working on any other feature here for GitLight?
No. At this time, the project is kind of done in the sense that I'm not planning on adding new major features, but I'm planning on just maintaining it, and I'm actually adding some small features from time to time, depending on my needs, and also if some people create issues or stuff like that, I can totally add feature requests from the community.
Yeah, I liked also the UI. It has a clean UI. It's not complicated, and you can see stuff easily, which I think it's something that all developers want because things can be complicated. So yeah,
Yes.
that's a nice addition as well. I saw that it has a lot of stars as well on GitHub. This is amazing. Do you know if many people are actually using it?
So I didn't set up any metrics, but what I can look at is the number of people that use the GitHub app. You know, in total there was this number of users that authenticated to the app, and that's only for GitHub. I think for GitLab it was like 500 or something like that. So not bad.
Yeah, that's a very impressive number. Definitely not bad. In the contrary, it's amazing. What was your inspiration for building GitLight?
So at the time, I recently joined my new team at my job that I currently work at, and it was the first time that I worked like seriously with people in a team using Git and GitHub. And I noticed that I was lacking information. For example, when I got a request change on my pull request, I didn't know it like right now. And same if I create a request change on someone's PR and the answer, I couldn't know it directly. So I first I tried to use the email notifications from GitHub, but it was just not my thing. Using notifications in Gmail I didn't like it. I wanted push notifications. So I also view that there was alternatives with desktop apps with push notifications also. But the issues was that they were just telling you that, for example, something happens on this pull request, but there was not telling that what happened exactly, just, hey, something happened here, look it up, but there was no more information. So I noticed that I needed something better. And also I was just looking for a way to, just an idea to create a side project, because I always like to have a side project on the side. So that's got me starting.
Yeah, I also noticed in your GitHub profile that you're doing a lot of things. You're contributing a lot. Like all your titles were green. That's pretty cool as well. So yeah, that project is mainly built with Tauri, but what other technologies did you use for it?
So for the front end, it's Svelte and the TypeScript. There is also a Svelte kit for some API routes that I needed for the authentication, and I'm deploying on Vercel. That's basically it. There is no backend. I mean, no databases, stuff like that. It's just local storage, because I didn't want to bother with databases. I just wanted to do the front end stuff, the desktop app. That's it.
Yeah, and you didn't need to do that. Yeah. So since that was also the first time that you were doing something like that, did you had any challenges or did you had a lot of bugs when you were working in this? And
Uh,
if so, like how did you solve those things?
so I got a few challenges. The first one I think was about authentication with Tauri, so the desktop app, especially with OAuth for GitHub and GitLab. So I didn't know exactly how to do it, but I thought about, for example, with Notion on the web, you can just click a link and it brings up the window. So I thought about doing the same, and so I learned that it's what's called deep link, and there is a Tauri plugin for deep links, so that's what I use. Other challenges that I faced was about the tray window. So because GitLight is currently two windows, the main window and the tray window, that was a bit challenging to make it work with Rust, because again, I'm kind of a noob in Rust. So, but eventually I got it working.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the DevTools by CrabNebula, but if you are, do you think that if you had this tool earlier, would that have helped you to solve those bugs a little bit faster, or in general, would it make more pleasant your experience with developing in Tauri?
So I didn't heard about it before you sent me the link, but I looked it up yesterday. It's pretty interesting. I think it would have helped me for the events part, where Tauri communicates with the front end. And because I have two windows, sometimes the two windows need to communicate with each other, and that would have helped me to debug. That's for sure. And my my backend in Rust is not that complicated, but I imagine for a larger, complex web app, I mean a desktop app with Tauri, it would be really helpful.
Right now, for the folks that don't know about it, I will leave a link below and you can check it out yourself. There's a free version of it and it will continue to be free, although we are planning to have some paid feature as well. But we love everyone's feedback, and if you have anything else to suggest, leave a comment below. All right, and do you have any upcoming plans for any other projects built with Tauri?
Not for now. Actually, I'm not. I don't have a like side project currently. I want to create like a startup with a friend, so we are.
Oh, can you share a little bit about that? What will this startup be about?
I will keep it kind of secret, because
That's
it's really the beginning, like we didn't even started to code, but
yeah.
For now, it will only be a website, but I think if you want to make it a desktop app, we will definitely use Tauri, that's for sure.
Amazing. We will wait for your news, and then maybe we can create another video about that as well.
Yes.
All right, so I'm wishing you good luck with everything that you are going to build, but as well as your current job. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
Yes, so if for the people that are watching this video, if you're not familiar with Rust, do not consider this as a blocker for using Tauri. Like it's especially if you don't want to do a complex desktop app, it's really easy to get started. And yeah, Tauri is really great developer experience, especially because of the Rust ecosystem that is way simpler and way better than the JavaScript ecosystem, to be honest. And also, I want to say that the open source community is also really good because that helped me a lot to continue working on the project, improving it. I received a lot of issues to point at bugs and request features that I mostly implemented. And also, I got some contributors that just added features that was really cool. So thanks for the thanks to the open source community, and let's just build stuff together.
Yeah, thank you. That was a great advice and a bit of inspiration now for everyone that is looking to get involved in open source and in Tauri. Thank you very much, Colin, for our interview. For everyone, check the description below. I will leave Colin's social media, Twitter or X, and GitHub, and of course GitLight. So also check the description because I will have DevTools as well. Thank you, everyone, and see you soon with another interview.
Thanks for the interview. Bye bye.